Hello, welcome to another replay with the Mighty Bjorn. Today I have the Primo Victoria. And apparently, if a tank had a heavy metal song written about it, it'd be called Primo Victoria. Whatever. So this is the tank. It was released about a year ago. Sabaton actually did a music video actually featuring this tank. I think it's a pretty neat little looking tank. Do some pan around it here. So it's got some armor plates on the front, and it's actually got spikes on the track guards. Pretty neat looking. They don't do anything for ramming, but whatever. So this is a tier 9 match in the Primo Victoria. This is actually my first game in this tank. I've only played a couple games in this after this, just to get a feel for how I feel about the tank. This is going to be more of an opinion of the tank versus an actual replay, and you're going to kind of see why here shortly. What we have here, this is a tier 9 match. So there's 5 enemy tier 9s. Or 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, pardon me. There's actually only 4 tier 9s. And everything else is tier 8s. And if you're looking at the map right now, there's a Super Pershing that I thought was coming with us and is not. And then there's the T-34, my Primo Victoria, and the 2 Scouts. Now the Scouts get early spots, but they actually decide to turn around and leave, which I don't blame them. Once the T-34 and I realizes what's going on, we're in no rush to push the field. Where, as you can see, we are already outnumbered. There's an FCM-50T. There's an M46 Patton KR. There's a Centurion 7-1. Yep. Now there are 2 Scouts, which is an M41 and an ELC Even. There's actually more medium tanks over there that we don't know about yet. There's Centurion 7-1. I'm trying to line up a shot. Okay, now, okay. I actually had won this tank during one of the Chieftain streams. Okay, hit the invisible barrier there on the dirt. Put one in his lower glacis. And the Centurion 7-1 is actually a pretty good tank. I'm actually slightly intimidated by him being there. And right now, I'm trying to be very cautious because the only thing holding this side, the 2 Scouts are sort of kind of helping us, but they're not trying to battle it out. I don't blame them. Oh, and I just took a surprise shot from the Pat KR. This tank has a very strong turret, but its hull armor's kind of poor. I don't know if that shot actually did hit. I never double checked the stats. I think it hit, but it bounced. And see, now I just spotted an FV 4202, which also has a strong turret and a pretty good gun. Mine actually has the 20-pounder Type A barrel. His actually has the Type B barrel. I have a slight armor advantage on him. Pat KR. So I mean, mind you, this is pretty much a stock crew. I have no clue what I hit there. They do come with a 0 skill, which is like Brothers in Arms. I think it's actually called something else. So right now you got the T-34 holding the high ground there. And I'm trying to do what I can to help him out. And once again, I hit fucking invisible force fields. I don't know what that was. So I put one in the FCM. Okay, I don't know why he went full retard there. He had a good position and left it. I'm going to make him pay for it the best I can. I just take a hard hit from the FCM, and I'm just going to keep doing the same thing, just poking the ridge line. This tank has negative 10 degrees gun depression, but it's got really strong turret armor. It's rated at 254 millimeters thick, but because of its gun mantlet, it's actually thicker still. So as you can see, it's still just me and the T-34 here. The M46 Patton is making his way back for one of his Commander Cupola. So I was also very leery about this tank. I did have the Centurion, the British Tier 8. I really wasn't wild about it. I always seem to have problems hitting target, especially while moving. I didn't feel like I had a whole lot of problem here hitting target. I had some, obviously, but I was very rushed and just trying to get out there, poke a shot, and get back in cover before I was getting hit, which I just got hit by the even 90. That shot missed. Now that shot, I have no clue where it went. That should have penned. It must have just went high and hit his turret. So I'm going to just start backpedaling. I'm trying to stay on him. I was actually going to go for a ram, and I missed the ram. Because at that point, I knew I was pretty well dead. But my team managed to pull this off. As you can see, they just killed the enemy Centurion. So, just quickly, my opinion of the vehicle is, I think with a better crew, I can actually perform better in the Primo Vic than I could with the Centurion. Which is weird because essentially they're the same tank. If you look at the stats, they're very, very similar. There's a couple areas where the Primo Victoria wins. The big one being engine power, but it loses in terrain resistance. It also loses with its radio, and there was something else I saw it gained. Shell velocity, which may be important because that means the shell's going to fly straighter. I played a lot of games of the Centurion 7.1, and when I had the 7.1, it actually had a better crew than the Primo Victoria did in this game. And I felt efficiently being rushed and trying not to trade any hit points whatsoever, or tried to trade the minimum amount of hit points. I felt I did fairly well. As you can see right there, that says I did 2207 damage. I don't think that's bad for the first time running out in a tank in a tier 9 match. So yeah, for winning a tank in a contest, that's not really bad. So let's see the post-battle results here, as I'm done with the opinion. So here I got a class 2. That's not quite bad. And actually, when I backed out of the match, I was only a little over 2,200 damage, and here I have almost 2,500 damage. So one of my blind shots, which would have been the blind shot on the Patton KR, did penetrate. And I was able to get a tank rewards point for that. As you can see here, I was actually top 3 in damage. And I'm also top 2 in XP. So I actually played a very decent match for the very first time ever being in this tank. I outperformed my tier 10s on my team, or my tier 9s on my team, except for this T10 here, the number 2 tier 10 T10. He got slightly better damage, and that's a T10 with a 122 millimeter gun. And the Patton KR, he had a bane up game. He carried this game. Thank God he came back, because he was the only support coming back to help us. I wished he would have came back sooner. I wished he actually would have tried to come to the field with us. But that being said, this team still won this game. So bane up job. So there you go. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next time.